Hello and welcome. In this video, we will learn few more things that we can do with arrays. Alright? Now, before we learn about arrays, I want to tell you about data types. Okay? So, we have learned about few main data types from this list. Correct? So, these are all the data types available, but we have learned about char, int, float, double, and so on. Now, these data types take up some space on the memory, and you know that, correct? While explaining what variables are, I had explained that they take up space in the memory. Well, how much memory do they take? That is given here. Char takes up 1 byte in the memory. An integer value takes up 4 bytes in the memory. Float takes up 4 bytes in the memory. Double takes up 8 bytes in the memory. Okay. So mainly we are concerned about char, int, float and double. So let us try to remember that. Okay. It is not necessary to know all these and all these too. As and when you start to program using C++, you will learn this if necessary. Okay, for now do not worry about it. But now let us take the example of int. Int takes up 4 bytes in the memory. Okay, so a value of integer takes up 4 bytes in the memory. Now we can check that. We can check that using size of operator. Okay, so here I will say cout. Alright, cout, and here I will say size of. Okay, size of, and in the bracket I will say int. And now when I run this, I get 4. So 4 bytes is the space that is occupied by an integer value. Okay, yeah. Now let us keep this aside. Let me create an array now. All right. So I'll say int age. Okay, int age is equal, or array, we are creating an array, correct? 5. Int age equal to array, and here we will say 10, 12, 3, 7, 23. Okay, so we have 5 values in this array. Now let us try to get the length of this array. We can measure how many elements are there in this array. Of course, we know it is 5, but let us try to get it as an output using size of operator. Okay. So here I will say cout, and I will say size of, and inside this I will mention the name of the array. So age. Okay, age. For now, I am not worried about this, so I will comment this out. Okay, I will comment this out. So you know that I get 4. I will get 4 as result of this. But now, when I run this, all right. So what is the error here? Yeah. So now when I run this, I get 20 as result. What is this 20? This 20 is nothing but the sum of all the memory space of these values. Okay. Now see, this is one value, one integer value. This is one integer value. This is one integer value. So there are 5 integer values. You know that an integer takes up 4 bytes of memory. How many integer values are there? 5. So 5 into 4, 20 bytes is the memory space taken up by these 5 integer values, and that is what we get as output when we use size of with the array name. Okay, array name. All right. Yeah. Now the thing is, I want the count of values as output, meaning I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want 5 as result here. I want to count how many elements are there in this array and I want to print it out. I do not want how much memory it is consuming. So what can I do? You see, I have this. This will give me 4 as a result. What is this? This is the space of integer value. How much does an integer value take up in the memory? That is what this gives me. This gives me total value. So if I divide this, so let me give a space here just to make it consistent. So if I divide this by this, I will get how many elements are there in this array, correct? So let me do that. Let me say int, I'll say result for now, and what I'll do is I'll have this here and divide it by this, okay, this. So now I will print the result. Alright, so now let me run this and you can see I get, alright, so I'll add end line, yeah. So you can see I get 24 and 5 as a result. 20 is the result of this total size of these 5 integer values. 4 is the result of this, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. That is how many values are there in this array. Okay, so you can do this and get the number of arrays. So now I have typed here 5 sorry, I have typed here 5 and I know it is 5, but many a times we will not be knowing how many elements will be are there in the array. So at that time you can use this and get the result. Okay, yes. So let me delete this now. Now we can loop through the array elements using a for loop. These are all array elements, correct? We can loop through the array elements using for loop. So let us do that. You know the syntax of for loop, correct? For, I'll say int I is equal to 0. What is this? This is index number. Okay. So index number starts from 0. You know that, correct? So I am saying index I equal to 0 and I less than, in this case, how much is it? 5, correct? There are 5 elements. Index number starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So less than 5. Alright. So this is also proper. Next, I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus. And now I will say cout and age I. Okay, age I, and I will add end line so that every value comes in new line. So let me run this now, and you can see I get 10, 12, 3, 7 and 23 as result. Each time the loop runs, the index value will be incremented, and this is how we access the values. You know that, correct? And each time for each index value, the value is printed out. Alright, so we start from index number 0, we print it, then we increment it, we check this condition of course, and then we keep on printing it. Alright, yes. So this is how we can loop through the array elements. Now, we wrote the size of the array in the loop condition, correct? We wrote the size. Now, this is not ideal since it will only work for arrays of a specified size. Okay? We have specified 5 and so we are using 5 here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, less than 5. But we know about size of operator, correct? So by using size of operator, we can make or create loops that work for arrays of any size, which is more practical. Okay. So let me write, instead of this, let me write less than this I will remove is, I will write size of age, okay, size of age divided by size of int, okay, size of int. Now let me run this. You can see I get the same result. So instead of mentioning size here, we mention this. So this loop can be used on arrays of any size, alright. So this is a better way of writing the loop, okay. Now this is one way. Let me have it here, yeah, for, alright, and let me comment this out, alright, let me comment this out. This is because in 2011 C++ introduced a feature which is for each loop, okay, for each loop. This is exclusively used to loop through elements in an array, alright. So let us learn that. So here the syntax of for each loop goes like this. So first is for, and then int I, okay, int I, and a colon age, alright, int I and age. Now in the bracket, I'll explain this, do not worry, C out and I, and let me add end line, alright. So I have commented this out, so this will not be executed. So this is written, let me run it, and you can see I get the same result, alright. Now let me explain this. This I, int I, what you see here is a variable, and this age is the name of the array, okay. Now for each loop is used to iterate over the elements of an array quickly without performing initialization. So this is not done, okay, without performing testing. So this is also not done, and without any increment or decrement. So this is also not done, okay. The working of for each loops is to do something for every element rather than doing something n number of times. Meaning each time the for loop runs, I will be storing a value of an array and print it out, okay. So first time when it runs, I will store 10 from this array and print it out. Second time when it runs, it will store 12 from this array and print it out. Third time when it runs, it will store 3 and print it out. That's all. So it will run till it reaches end of the array, okay, till it reaches end of the array. So this is simpler when you compare with this, correct? Compare with this. So int I, we declare a variable, and using a semicolon, using a colon, we separate it with from the name of the array, and then we just print out the variable. So each time the loop runs, the variable will store the value of the element, okay. So this is for each loop which works exclusively with arrays, alright. Yes, so I hope this is clear. I hope the concept of for each loop is clear. So that's it for this video. Go ahead and practice the things that we have learnt in this video. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and thank you for watching.